Well, hello there, fabulous people. Welcome back to my channel. As part of our pastries and bread making series, today I'm making coffee bread. I'm going to be showing you my step-by-step guide of how to make this seriously delicious loaf of coffee bread. So if you like the smell and the taste of coffee, you will definitely love this bread. Remember to click the like button, and if it's your first time visiting us today, please consider subscribing. Thanks very much for that. So, get your aprons on and let's begin baking. To begin this recipe, I'm using 2 heaped tablespoons of instant coffee. I'm going to add 20 ml of hot boiling water, and I'm going to simply mix it together until all of the coffee granules is properly melted and mixed thoroughly. And I'll set this aside for now. Now to begin the bread making, I'm going to add milk and sugar. I'll also add yeast. I'm adding salt. And finally, I'm adding 1 large egg at room temperature. I'm going to add all of these ingredients in my description box below, so you can always have a look at it later. So once the egg is in, I'm going to mix them roughly for a few seconds. And once that is completely mixed, I'm going to throw in my flour. I'm using bread flour for this. And I'm also going to throw in the coffee mix, which I prepared earlier on, straight into the mixture. Now you can either use your hands to mix this or simply use a spatula. So I'm starting off first using a spatula to mix, and I'll combine it until it becomes slightly tough, and then I'll put the spatula aside and I'll begin to knead with my hands. And I'll just begin to knead the bread lightly inside the bowl first. I'll start to knead it and then I'll throw it straight onto my wok surface, and we'll continue the mixing process. But before we continue mixing, I'm just going to spread it across the surface, and I'm going to add the butter straight into the batter, and I'll fold the butter straight inside. Then we'll begin to knead. That way it will become very nice and silky smooth. So at this point, I've been kneading the bread dough for about 10 minutes, and this looks perfectly ready for us to begin the first proofing. So we're going to have 2 proofings for this bread, but this is the first proofing, and we're going to proof this bread for about 1 to 2 hours the first time. So I'm just adding a little bit of oil to my bowl, and I'll add the bread dough straight into the bowl, and I'm going to cover it and allow it to rise and proof for about 1 to 2 hours. If your room temperature is warm enough, 1 hour should be just sufficient. So it's been 1 hour later and the bread is perfectly proofed. That's the first proofing done, and we're ready. So I've just punched down the bread dough and removed all the excess air. Now what I'm going to do is just simply place it on my wok surface, and this time I'm bringing out my rolling pin. So I'm going to roll this bread dough and making sure to remove any other excess air left inside of it. I'm just basically making it into a large, long, flat shape. And now I'm going to roll it very tightly. Roll and tuck into a very long log. Just making sure to tuck in every space covered. Once you've tucked in and pinched the dough nicely, it is now time for the second proofing. So I'm going to bring in my bread loaf tin. You can definitely use any shape of bread loaf tin that you like, but I definitely just wanted to use this oval shaped loaf tin. So just place the bread dough straight into the loaf and cover it again for a second proofing. This time it only needs to proof for 30 minutes. So if your temperature is warm enough, 30 minutes should be more than enough. So it's been 30 minutes later. I'm going to uncover it and it's time to bake. So instead of using an egg wash, I'm using a little dust of flour on the top of the bread. It will help keep the bread nice and soft. I'm going to throw this straight into the oven between 25 to 30 minutes, and I'm going to bake it at 170 Celsius. It's been about 30 minutes later and our bread is absolutely ready. I'm going to dust off the extra flour on the top. Just clean it off and make it nice and smooth. As you can see, the top of the bread is not crunchy at all. It's nice and soft on the top, which is just what I wanted it to be. Now just take a look and see how absolutely easy that was to make. I hope you can try out this recipe, and if you do, just comment below and let me know in the comment section how yours went. This might be a very good opportunity for me to remind you, if you haven't already, to click the like button. And if it's your first time, I hope you can consider subscribing. That would be very great. Thanks very much for watching. I hope you can try out this recipe sometime. I'll see you again for another video next week. Remember to share this video with your friends and family, and enjoy every single piece of your coffee bread. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.